What is up, everybody? This is episode number 16 of ESO Recapped. Elder Scrolls Online is now officially live. The full entire game has launched for the PC and Mac, and we're seeing a lot of people getting into the game now, leveling up through things. We've seen people, of course, already hitting max levels and things like that. Of course, that was to be expected. I think everybody's really having fun with the game starting out, and for this episode, what I want to go over is the online store. First off, I want to hit some of the really common questions that I've been seeing a lot of in the game, such as your skill points, attribute points. That's something that was requested recently. The Rings of Mara guilds, like how do you create them and leave them? Vampires and werewolves. That's been a very big thing that a lot of people's been wanting to know exactly how do you get it. So we're going to cover that. Auction houses. That's another thing that a lot of people's been talking about. And then lastly, traits. People's been very interested in traits. So that's where we're going to start at. So to get things started, let's go ahead and look at the online store. ZeniMax has placed in the Palomino horse. It is $14.99 USD. You do need to have an active code redeemed for the game. That would be your retail codes or a digital purchase that's already been activated as of the 4th. That's got to be input. It's got to be an active subscription running your 30 days game time. So you're going to have that running before you can actually purchase this horse. And it's $14.99 USD. Next, they've got the Imperial Edition upgrade. So for those people out there that purchased the standard edition of the game, whether it be retail or the digital, you can go into the store. Just log into your account.elderscrollsonline.com. Up at the top, click store, and then scroll down here at the bottom, and you can purchase either one of these or both if you want to, and you can upgrade to the Imperial Edition, which would get you the Imperial race, the white horse, crafting Imperial gear, transform gear into Imperial, which makes the item bound, the Rings of Mara, and the Mudcrab Vanity Pet. And of course, they've got the Palomino horse there again as an item that you may end up locking. Just a couple of the other screenshots for the horse. It does look like a pretty nice mount. It's something I will probably be interested in getting in the future. So both of those items are out there on the store for you guys. If you want to purchase those, they are available now. So the next thing I want to go into is actually going through and resetting your skill points and attribute points. Exactly what do you have to do? It's very simple. I am currently in Deshawn right now. You're going to be looking, if you're Ebonheart Pact, it's Mournhold. You want to look for this little icon right here. Looks kind of like an hourglass. It's called a rededication shrine. You'll see that this one has Shrine to Kine, Shrine to Stun, and Shrine to Mara. Your Shrine to Stun is going to be used to reset your skill points, and it does cost gold. Shrine to Kine resets your attribute points. So you can go to either one of these shrines. They're all three right there together. This is actually in the center of Mournhold, in the little civic center, if you will. This door over here on the left actually takes you into the bank. The one in the center is just like a foyer gallery section, if you will. And then there's a door that's off to the right that takes you right into those. You can enter any three doors and run over to these shrines. They're just real small on the ground. Press E to interact with them. It'll tell you the cost to reset it. It'll tell you what you'll be resetting as well. And accept it, pay the fee, and everything's refunded back to you. The next thing I want to talk about is the Rings of Mara. A lot of people have been really curious as to how do I use the Rings of Mara. They still don't understand how to use them. First thing that you're going to be doing is you're going to take your Pledge of Mara. You're going to put it in your quick slot. So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to hit I. then hit Q, and you're going to drag the Pledge of Mara into a quick slot. You'll hold down Q, it comes up with a little rotating window like so, and you just go over to where it is and select it for your quick slot. You'll go to the Shrine of Mara with whoever you want to perform the ceremony with. You need to be looking at the person, and from what I am understanding, you do need to be in a group as well, but you have to be looking at that person. You hit Q, it's going to prompt both players to accept the ceremony. When you accept it, it will create a ring for each player. At that time, those people can put the rings on and actually get the benefits of the Rings of Mara, which is a bonus XP as you level together. There is a range distance for those, so you do have to stay close to that person, and you both have to wear the ring, and it is bound to those characters, not the account. One person, also just some additional notes, one person can wear 2 rings, but they will not get double the experience. So if you had 3 people leveling together, one person, if they chose, could use both their ring slots to make sure that everybody is getting the XP boost, but the person that's wearing 2 rings will not get double XP. They're only getting one effect from it. The next thing we're going to get into is how do I create and leave guilds. It's very simple. Just hit G to go into your guild tab. If you're not leading a guild, you can hit E to create a guild. It'll pop up a window to ask you for the name of the guild that you want to make. Drop down a box to select the alliance that you want to put that guild under, fighting in Cyrodiil, and boom, it's created, given that the name's not taken. Pretty simple to create a guild. Now, accessing the bank, you do have to have 10 members in your guild before the guild bank becomes accessible. That has 500 slots in it. If you fall below 10 members, whatever you've got in the bank stays there, and you can withdraw, but you can't deposit any more items until you reach that 10 character limit. Guild banks, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, that becomes accessible at 50 people. The same rules apply there. In order to leave a guild, a lot of people ask, how do I leave a guild? Alright, if you just go into your roster, find your name, and right click it, you can leave guild. Very simple. If you are the guild master, you're going to have to promote someone else to the guild master before you leave, or you're going to have to remove everybody else out of the guild first and then leave the guild. And that will disband it. The next thing is, excuse me, how do I get to be a vampire or a werewolf? First things first, you can't be both. You're going to have to choose one or the other or none. So here's the basics. It's in the last zone of your alliance. For instance, Ebonheart Pact, it's in the Rift. Whatever the DC's last zone is, it's in that. Same thing with AD. Next, you're going to have possible scenarios that you're going to come across, and these vary. So this is what makes it so unique about understanding how to get it. And this is where a lot of the miscommunication of things comes from, I believe, is because these scenarios are different. Here's just some examples of what we definitely know to be some of them. The first one is a mage duel. You'll have 2 mages appear, they'll start fighting one another, and they'll have a few words between each other. If you interfere with those mages, you'll hear them say something about you shouldn't have involved yourself, and that's what starts that accessibility to become a werewolf or vampire. Next one is the trap. You'll have like an NPC tied up on the ground. They'll be calling out for help. Whenever you approach the person, they're going to say, I'm sorry, they made me do it, in which 3 bandits will attack you, and then that goes on forward, and you'll have the opportunity to get infected from that. The next one is the summoner. A summoner would open up a Daedric portal with some chanting, and at which point they're going to discover they made an error, and he's going to start calling out for help. And if you interact with that, then that's where it's going to start the quest. Next one is the Highwayman. This is a traveling merchant with a pack horse, and he's hired by a guard under attack with 2 other highwaymen. A third will generally spawn on you during the fight, and that's what starts that one. So as you can see, there's different scenarios that can play out, and this is in different areas of the map. It's going to happen at night. Whenever you see this stuff, that's when you have the chance to become infected. The moon phases, that's not true. The moon has nothing to do with it. It just has to be at night. You have to survive the attacks from the vampire or werewolf, whichever one that you see there. You've got to survive the attacks from those long enough in order to get the disease. Once you get the disease, then you'll have a quest that you start doing. You'll have the option to proceed with the quest or cure yourself. So if you proceed, then you'll become full-blown werewolf or vampire. You can cure yourself of these diseases by going to like a Priest of Arcane in the Mages Guild. That's for the vampire. It costs gold. Werewolf may work the same. We're not 100% sure. Those of us in Great Architect, I've looked around on the internet for this, but the only thing I've been able to find for werewolf is it costs gold. So check with the Arcane, Priest of Arcane first. If that's not it, you may want to poke around in the Fighters Guild. I don't know the definite curing for a werewolf yet. Next question is there an auction house? A lot of people have been asking this question, is where's the auction house? Where can I go to sell everything? And you know, they're looking for that one-stop shop auction house. And bottom line is there is no global auction house at this time. And this goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the guilds. Once your guild receives 50 members, that unlocks the accessibility of a guild store. You can interact with the guild store at a bank and just tell, I think it's the third option, it says guild store. Go into the guild store, it works just like an auction house. Go in there and list items for sale, browse items to buy, and this is interacting with your own guild members. Last question that I definitely think needs some descriptions is, how do I learn traits? And this is something that's extremely important in the crafting line. Bottom line is you're gonna have to find an item with the trait that you're wanting on it that pertains to the item that you want it on. So if I wanted to create an axe and I wanted an axe with powered on it, well, it's locked. I can't do anything. Research to unlock. Okay, what does that mean? That means that I need to find a one-handed axe, any one-handed axe, that has powered on it. Then I could go to research, go to my axes, and find powered. Instead of it saying unknown, you would see researchable. You can research items from your bank or your inventory. You cannot research items that is in your guild bank. So it has to be either in your personal bank or in your inventory. To research, as I said, just go to the research tab. Go to the appropriate item, whether it be weapons or armor. As you can see here, I've got a couple from the heavy armor line here for gloves. I think I got one for shoulders and a belt. We're going to look at this great sword. I'm going to double click. It's going to pop up this second window. Research a trait from an item. You'll see all of the items down through here that has defending on them. That is either in your bank or in your inventory. You simply left click and it's going to highlight it on whatever item that you want to use. This will destroy the item, and you'll see that how long this process will take, 6 hours. That is by default. I click my research trait or press E, and now it changes to researching, and I get a timer that's going to start counting down. Now, I cannot research anything else inside of the weapons and blacksmithing because I'm maxed out. With greatsword, if I was to find another greatsword, I couldn't research anything else, bottom line, in here. But I can spend points in my crafting table. If I go to crafting, go to blacksmithing, And where is it? Right here. Metallurgy reduces the research time by 5% and allows the research of 2 items at once. And that has 0 of 3, so that can rank up so that you can research more items and reduce that research time. That's very important. So this would actually go up to 2, so that I could research 2 items. But again, I could not research another trait in Greatsword because I'm already researching here. But anywhere else, if I had that passive trait from crafting, I absolutely could. I could go into heavy armor and research more there if this was higher and I had a slot available to research. So you want to be very careful with what you're researching. Understand that as you start picking up these researching traits and they get higher, as you can see, some of these I've got 2 already on there. Here's 3. So after I go to get this 4th one, we're looking at a little over a day to research one trait, and it's going to continue to get larger and larger. It keeps doubling, so you got a lot of time invested in these to research. And that's pretty much everything for episode number 16. I felt that this episode, with the fresh launch of the game, that it was going to be good to go back and revisit some really common questions that a lot of people was asking, and get them covered a little bit more in detail. If you guys have any other questions, comments about the series, definitely let me know. If there's anybody that is in the stream channel right now that wants to ask any questions, by all means, go ahead and ask away. But other than that, we'll get this closed out and get it uploaded to YouTube. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and I appreciate everyone that's keeping up with the series and watching and tuning in. I plan on continuing to do the ESO recap series as long as I can bring new information to you guys and help you understand the game a little bit better. If you have more questions, please let us know. Great Architect, again, if you want any information about us, visit greatarchitect.us. We have 4 guilds going in our community right now. We have the Great Architect Guild. We have Messiah Complex. That's another guild. Both of us are in EP. We have Sanctuary, that is DC, and the Dread Talon, that is also DC. You can visit our Elder Scrolls Online page on greatarchitect.us. Just go to Games, click on Elder Scrolls Online. You can see that information in your contacts. And we also have a trading guild, the Lower East Ebon Trading Company, or trading, that is working with our community as well. There's a lot of members over there, so we've got some pretty well established guilds going right now, and we just recently upgraded our TeamSpeak server to support more people, more members. So again, if you're looking for a good guild home, group of people to answer your questions, Great Architect is a great place to start, and it could be a permanent place for you. I really hope that a lot of people makes Great Architect their permanent home, and we have a good group of people. If you want any information about the Elder Scrolls Online, you can visit elderscrollsonline.com for more information there, and that'll get it all wrapped up for tonight's episode. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and you guys have a good night.